what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 15, volume 4 of the Fantasy Formula, your go-to source for everything fantasy football. Let me introduce our starting lineup for the Fantasy Formula. Sitting on the wheels of steel, our executive producer extraordinaire, who just told me a lovely story of when his dad was hanging up Christmas lights when he was just a young little lad. If a bulb went out, he would simply touch it, and it would begin to shine brightly. He's our own Chris Magic Hands Fry. How you doing, Christopher? Next up, our newest hostess with the mostest, replacing our former co-host with the leastest. He's John Mark Russell.
John Mark. Still got no nickname over here.
No nickname. Hey, fantasy fanatics, y'all send in a nickname for John Mark next time. If we like it, we'll put it on the air and use it. How about that?
Oh, I'm going to get some bad stuff coming now.
Right on. And, of course, yours truly, Chad the Hitman East. We're here for Week 11. Actually, it's going to be Week 12. Last week was Week 11 in fantasy football. We're at Week 12. 2 weeks to go before playoffs begin, John Mark. So, let's talk about our teams. How did we do last week? Actually, I don't really want to discuss this. I'll pass the form or the conch over to you, if you will. Go ahead.
Well, in my Chapel Hill League, I was on the cusp there. It was 5-5. It was kind of a must-win situation against one of the top 5 teams. Pulled it out. You know, he had a couple of his players go down. He relies on the Colts a lot. So Colts didn't show up, so he loses. So 6-5 there in the hunt. In our league, played Chad the Hitman East. And both our teams really didn't do much. So mine did a little bit better.
Yeah.
I see you in the next 2 weeks again. So
and it will and I will have to win this week and beat you to even have a shot at the playoffs. It's still doable, though. I looked at the standings. It's
could
doable.
happen.
A lot of things have to happen for me to fall in there. But you know what?
I'm looking pretty good to make the playoffs in that league. I'm 7-4.
You're in. I think 8 wins for sure get you in. 7, you're right on the cusp, which you still should get in.
Sure.
You know.
So it's week to week, man. You never know.
Absolutely. 2 weeks to go. Chad over here lost to John Mark, as he just mentioned. My other Hickory League, I played my brother, Jeremy East, and he put a shellacking on the kid. I think he won 90. I think I scored 38 points.
Oh, wow.
It was not
one of those
good.
weeks.
Yeah. I had Andrew Luck, who did okay, but not his normal, 4 touchdowns. Calvin Johnson, nothing. Sammy Watkins, nothing. Running backs, horrendous, because Arian Foster got, he was injured right before, so I had to put in.
Alfred Blue?
I didn't even have Alfred Blue. I think I had to put Tavares Cadet in.
Oh, wow.
It was
was
brutal. Anyway, so lost that one, but maintained second place in my Raleigh League. I'm 8-3, 1 game back. So I'm right in the hunt. This league pays regular season win, too.
That's right.
So if you win regular season, you get some money. So anyway, that's what happened Week 11. I'm ready to jump right into Week 12, John Mark. You ready for our injury report and waiver wire wonder segment?
Bring it on, brother.
All right, so first, let's talk a few injuries. These were, I'm going to call these even key injuries with the season, regular season, just 2 weeks left. Brandon Cooks was a flex starter, maybe even a wide receiver 2 starter on many teams. The dude is out for the year with a thumb injury. Had surgery yesterday. Brandon Cooks gone, ladies and gentlemen. Next big one here. Ahmad Bradshaw, top 10 running back for the Indianapolis Colts because he caught balls out of the backfield. He had 6 receiving touchdowns. Did you know that?
I didn't realize it was 6.
6 receiving touchdowns. So
that's pretty big news right there for that. And Trent Richardson's not a guy that's going to catch balls out of the backfield.
You would not think so. So Ahmad Bradshaw owners might be in a tad of a hole. Other big news, Ben Tate. This is shocking to me. So the Cleveland Browns signed him, they signed him. He was a free agent. He was a Houston Texan. Signed Ben Tate, not to a lucrative deal, but a 3-year deal. He was making several $1 million a year. Mid-season, they cut his A. He is gone.
Cut his A.
Cut his A.
Oh,
so
wow.
We'll talk about here in a second where Ben Tate might end up, John Mark. A lot of possible suitors for Ben Tate. Also, LeGarrette Blount, I don't know if you heard about this, walks out in the mid-game of the Pittsburgh game because he's not getting enough carries. When he gets back to the locker room, dude's cut. He's gone.
How could he get mad at his boy Bell?
Exactly.
They used to be weed heads together, and now he's getting mad at him because he's getting more carries.
Remember, this is the same LeGarrette Blount who, after a college game for Oregon Ducks, knocked a dude out from Boise State because he laughed. Do you remember this many moons ago? So LeGarrette Blount has a temper, and this temper looks like it will cost him millions of dollars.
To smoke that weed just to calm him down.
LeGarrette, call Addison. He will hook you up.
Hook it up with the green.
Hook it up. Dwayne Allen, tight end, Indianapolis Colts. He goes out. He's saying they first diagnosed as a high ankle sprain. Now they're just saying maybe a mid-grade low ankle sprain. Big news because Dwayne Allen, he's caught 8 touchdowns from Andrew Luck so far. That's huge. That's 14 touchdowns for Luck that are out on the injury wire right now.
The Colts are not looking too good there.
Yeah, they didn't look good.
Is Hakeem Nicks going to come in and try and steal some thunder there?
We'll see. That might be somebody to look out for. I wouldn't bank on it, but, Other big news, you've got Monte Ball, who already had a groin injury, tried to come back from it. Now he's out 2 to 4 weeks.
Cut him.
More with the groin. I don't see him coming back to perform a role for your team.
Hillman's out too, right? So
C.J. Anderson's
my
man. He's my man. Also, Emmanuel Sanders took that vicious hit, concussed, out for the rest of the game. They're not saying he's clear to play this week.
I don't think he will be.
I don't think so either, man. That was nasty.
So that's going to be a who fills in there?
What would you think here? Do you think maybe?
Welker?
But Wes Welker doesn't seem to be the same Wes Welker of old.
Right.
I mean, he's 4 targets a game, 2 catches. He'll have to play more of a part. But do you think Peyton will let the offensive coordinator run the ball more? You say, does Peyton say, you know what? Let's give it to C.J. Anderson 30 times.
I think Demaryius Thomas gets the ball about twice as much as he normally does.
Could have, and he's had 7 straight games of 100 yards receiving.
He's one of the most consistent guys out there.
It's unbelievable. I'm glad I have him on my team, even though you need more than Demaryius Thomas.
When you're in more than one league, you're probably playing against him in some other team too.
So true.
And it's not fun.
Also, keep your eyes on Julius Thomas. He went out early. First quarter of the Denver Broncos lost to the St. Louis Rams. He is day-to-day, if I'm not mistaken. So you watch him on the injury report. He's a big part of that offense as well. It
wasn't the same ankle that he had surgery on, so it's a different ankle.
That's good news.
Which means he'll probably be in there.
Probably so. Also, Antoine Smith, the Atlanta Falcon guy who was getting early in the season, getting a touchdown a game, out for the year. Does this mean, Steven Jackson still carries the bulk, but Devontae Freeman may be a spot for him to shine.
Sure.
He's a rookie. They're in the hunt. Maybe they start giving him the ball.
Atlanta's not looking great with Steven in there.
Exactly. Maybe it's Freeman's time.
I mean, give the young guy a chance. You're at the top of your dang your
division.
South, your division
with 4 wins.
losing record.
Suck.
So I don't know if anybody watched that Panthers-Falcons game, but that was not worth your time.
Yeah, I did not watch it. Saw the highlights. So Graham Gano misses a 40-some yarder to win. And then they get the ball back, and then he has a
60-some. So it was going to be tough.
He needed to make that first one.
Cam had this look at the end of his. He should have known he was missing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he gave him a chance, but come on, man,
Yeah.
You should have scored more touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 more on our list here. Larry Fitzgerald. Not sure what his injury is, but I think he's definitely out for next week. Might be out for 2. Do you know what the injury is?
I think that's with an MCL, no?
Maybe something with his knee. So anyway, keep your eyes on that for sure. We talked about it last week. Drew Stanton comes in for the injured Carson Palmer. We thought Michael Floyd might have a shot to shine, and he did last week with 2 touchdowns. Now with Larry Fitzgerald going down, Michael Floyd really needs to shine if Arizona wants to stay.
MCL sprain.
Okay, MCL sprain. Those are not easy to come back from immediately. So
right.
Big news there. And last but not least, the Adrian Peterson suspension. if you're like me, and like I've seen it in a lot of leagues, you guys picked up AP last week or 2 weeks ago, or he might have been on somebody's team this whole year, waiting to see what would happen. It comes out from the commissioner, Goodell, yesterday that AP is suspended for the rest of the year. However, don't cut him yet because it is under appeal. I heard today, breaking news. At AP, there is a 25% chance that he might play this week.
I believe it too.
So
I've been listening to a lot of different shows this week, and you get different takes of it, from Stephen A. to Shine on Sports. But at the end of the day, I think they should sit him.
Yeah.
But who knows? Whatever.
Yeah. So you guys keep your eyes on that. If you benched or had AP on your bench for the duration of the season, and all of a sudden he pops in your lineup with 2 weeks to go in the regular season, whoa, it could be a godsend for you. So anyway, buddies, that's the injury report for the Week 11 2014 season. We're going to pop right over to Waiver Wire Wonders and see how these injuries will affect these guys on our waiver wire. The number one, actually, I'm not even going to give him number one, but everybody else is giving him the number one waiver wire wonder status.
Jonas Gray.
Mr. Jonas Gray, New England Patriot, who carried the load last week. 200 yards, 199, 200.
Sure.
4 touchdowns. How many touches? Like 30?
Yes, over 30 touches.
He is on your waiver wire, I guarantee you. Do you expend your number one waiver wire request if you got you're fortunate to have it? John Mark, would you use it on Jonas Gray this week?
Personally, on my team, probably yes. But I have Shane Vereen on that team, so I wouldn't know who to play. This week, it could be Shane Vereen going for 200 yards. I wouldn't say 37 carries, but they might be thrown out of the backfield this week. You never know what Belichick's going to do. He keeps them guessing. Right when you think he's going to come in with 37 more carries, he might get 4.
So true.
So, and the guy's been off the radar all season. So, yes, he can play. All the running backs can play. The Patriots, just did a good day blocking, and they kept with it. So, I say yes for me.
You know what? And I would say 90% of people in the same situation as John Mark would say yes to, because let's think about this. The weather, as we've talked about before the show, it's starting to get bad.
Oh, yeah.
And when the weather is bad and the wind's rustling, you can't throw the ball like you used to.
Right.
So you want to pound the ball. Jonas Gray, you can pound the rock with him, right?
And that defense feels those hard hits a lot more in the cold.
So Jonas Gray, to me, yes. Number one waiver wire selection this week. Followed closely behind here. There's a couple other dudes on the list here. Kenny Stills with Brandon Cooks out of the mix now for New Orleans. Kenny Stills, will he fill that role? He's a deep threat. He was drafted pretty high a couple years ago because Drew Brees really liked him. He's just been kind of quiet. Will he jump up and take the reins in Brandon Cooks' absence?
He's kind of a long threat, deep ball threat. Brandon Cooks had his games, but he was never, I felt like, a large
consistent
target.
Yeah,
he was very inconsistent in his game, and I think Stills will be the same way.
Yeah.
Not a pickup for me.
Gotcha. How about next on the list? We've got the tight end out of Indianapolis with Dwayne Allen down. Kobe Fleener had a monster last week, 12 targets, 144 yards. Dwayne Allen has 8 touchdowns up until last week. Can Kobe Fleener, is he on your radar to grab on the waiver wire?
I think most definitely, especially if you have Julius Thomas and you need some guy to maybe fill in for him this week. Kobe Fleener is a great pickup.
Boom. One more. If you watch the Raider game, which probably only 3% of America did, there was a running back who's been kind of in the mix, but really maybe 2 targets, 3 touches a game. His name is Latavius Murray. With McFadden not really doing much, MJD is basically gone. Oakland's 0-10. Is it time that they give this guy a chance? I mean, I watched this game. I was only the 3% of the people in America that watched this game. I actually watched it. When they gave him the ball, he broke off an 8-yard run, broke off a 12-yard run. He's got the skill set. Now will he get the opportunity? Would you take a risk? Would you take a flyer on him?
With a name like Latavius, I kind of maybe makes me want to name my next son that. Lottie is what I'd probably call him for short.
Lottie.
I think Lottie might be a good pickup right now. If you're hurting, need that one extra guy and you're short on running backs, why not? Now, if he's a top 6, you got top 6 waiver wire, yeah, maybe if you're in the deeper rounds, you might get him, I think.
I'm thinking I would roll the dice with Lottie, and this is what I say.
Lottie.
I'd say, because Oakland's got nothing to lose. They're going to give this dude the rock. They're going to give it to him.
Right.
And so he could be, your little gold chip to take you to the playoffs, So
And
I think
Oakland's offensive line's not that bad.
It really
it's
isn't.
just McFadden, like every other year, ain't doing nothing with it, and he's injury prone. So.
Absolutely. Just a couple more we'll breeze through. We just talked about Ben Tate being cut. That leaves the workload to Isaiah Crowell and Terrence West. Who's going to start? Who's going to get the carries? We don't know. But one of the two, and maybe they split 50-50, John Mark, not sure. But one of those two dudes is going to get some opportunity. I've got Terrence West. I'm gambling on him. I really think Isaiah Crowell is going to be the starter, but West is going to get his shot. Last but not least, too, I know he's not available anymore, but Josh Gordon comes back to the mix this weekend. John Mark, his first week back. Guess what? Last year, I just did a little bit of research because that's what I do. And last year when Josh Gordon came back from his suspension, I think he was suspended 4 weeks or maybe 6.
Right.
His first game back.
19 targets.
19. You heard the same thing? You doing your research too.
All day.
19 targets, 10 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. His first game back.
Right. And that's the only thing you can judge off of right now.
Sure.
Now, is that the same quarterback or is that the different quarterback?
It's a different quarterback.
But it's the same offensive coordinator, right?
I believe so, yes.
And I read something on the offensive coordinator who's like, we are going to feed this dude. We are going to find a way to give him the rock. Right. So he's a definite start right away.
Sure. And other thing, last year Cleveland was not in the hunt. This year, Cleveland's in the hunt. Dude.
Sure.
They got playoffs ahead of them if they can gather a couple more wins. So Josh Gordon could be huge. You just picked him up in one league, Thursday night?
Oh, God. It was, Thursday night I think it was. I mean, that's ridiculous. What a league that is. Absolutely. I should be first place in that.
You should be. What the hell's wrong with you? So anyway, that wraps up our waiver wire wonders. A couple good ones out there, so keep your eyes on the injury report and the waiver wire. We're suggesting go get Jonas Gray, maybe hang tight on Kenny Stills. Kobe Fleener, if you need a tight end, grab him. And Latavius Murray might be that little piece of gold that you need to get you to the promised land. All right, John Mark, it's becoming everyone's favorite segment of the weekend or the week.
You get calls in all the time about this
segment?
segment?
All the time. They like the next two segments. Actually, everybody's kind of raving about. So first, we're going to go with the buy, sell, hold segment of the fantasy formula. This is for all our stockbroker friends out there and financial advisors. What we do here is I'm going to give you 3 names. You tell me if you would buy them at this moment, sell them, or hold them. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Wide receiver is our first group here. We're going buy, sell, hold. Michael Floyd, Vincent Jackson, and Steve Smith. Put them in any order you want to there, fella.
Like to buy your first one, Floyd, there?
Michael Floyd. Love it.
I'm going to sell on Steve Smith.
Okay. Tell me why.
Hold. Steve Smith started out strong. Now he's not doing much. Now, the Baltimore's coming off a bye, so you don't know if they're going to have a different strategy coming in. I just don't see them going to him as much as they did. Maybe Torrey Smith starts to get some more targets.
Right.
But I guess Pitta's still not there, so I could probably switch Vincent and Steve around, but I'll probably stick with sell on
Smith
Vincent and Jackson.
Oh, sell on Vincent and hold on Steve?
I think I had it opposite there.
Okay, yeah. You switched it around. You're confusing me over here. But anyway, the Michael Floyd thing.
I don't have it written down. I'm just trying to remember what you're talking about.
Rolling with it. Michael Floyd, I dig it, dude. I'm really going to be high on Michael Floyd the next couple of weeks. Drew Stanton's got to throw the ball, and Floyd's the only dude there. So anyway, Michael Floyd buying. Vincent Jackson, I would probably hold on, like you said before, because now you got Mike Evans, he's balling right now.
They're going to start guarding him a little tighter.
Exactly. Vincent Jackson might have a couple, openings there to make some plays. Steve Smith been very quiet. I think I'm selling him too. Right. So anyway, yeah, I like that. All right, next up, this is our running back. We're going to have 2 running back segments of buy, sell, hold. First, this is kind of our, draft. Anyway, it's a running back. Here we go. Buy, sell, hold. Jonas Gray, Jared McKinnon, or Trent Richardson. All 3 backs with an opportunity. Richardson's an opportunity because of the injury to Ahmad Bradshaw. Jared McKinnon, an opportunity because of AP suspension. Jonas Gray, an opportunity just because he's in Bill Belichick's backfield, and he got a lot of run last week. Put them in order.
Buy Gray, hold Richardson, and sell who's your
McKinnon, Jared McKinnon.
Yeah, Jared McKinnon. I'd sell him. I just don't see the Vikings doing much the rest of the season.
Plus, you got Matt Asiata or whatever taking all this vulturing his touchdowns.
all the vulturing the touchdowns, and then you also got what if AP comes back?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, I can dig that one. Good job there. Last one, buy, sell, hold. This buy, sell, hold is also regarding running backs that are trying to make a scene after being injured for a while. You ready? Ryan Matthews, back in the mix in San Diego. Reggie Bush says he's ready to go for the Detroit Lions, whether or not that's the case. And last but not least, C.J. Anderson, who's gotten his shot now because of the injury to Ronnie Hillman. Talk to me. Ryan Matthews, Reggie Bush, C.J. Anderson.
That's a tough segment. I mean,
it's hard.
I can't sell any of them. I mean, if I had to sell one of them, it would probably be C.J. Anderson. He's unproven. I just think they're going to throw the ball more. I know that there's no one to throw it to. I guess they got some injuries going on. But that other injury will come. I mean, who am I thinking of? The wide receiver that's Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders.
He'll come back. So I'll probably sell him. I'm going to buy Ryan Matthews.
Okay.
And probably just hold on Bush.
Yeah, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to buy Ryan Matthews because I think they're going to start. He's getting back into the mix. He's up and coming there, coming off the injury. I'm going to hold C.J. Anderson because I really like his scenario. With Hillman out, all the receivers out right now. Let's see what Denver does. Did they give him the rock? Let's see what happens. And Reggie Bush, I cannot trust this dude anymore.
They're playing Miami,
he's gone.
though. Miami's defense has been holding on to people. So
Very tough D. Very tough D.
That's kind of one reason I had that as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Reggie Bush, I'm just not trusting that guy anymore, dude. I mean, he just can't stay healthy. So that's what I would do for the buy, sell, hold. John Mark, good work there in that segment. Let's roll to the next one. How about that? All right.
Your voice to get that.
I am greater than you segment. Okay. Everybody, yeah, my friends in Hickory really like this one because that's normally what I'm saying to them when I pass them down the street. Like, I am greater than you. You know what I'm saying?
How do they react to that?
You're right, Chad. You're right. You sure are.
Does it have to do with the middle finger coming back?
Probably, yes. So anyway, we're going to start here with this I am greater than you segment. We're going to start with a wide receiver. His name is Josh Gordon. We just talked about him. Who do you like moving forward? Josh Gordon or T.Y. Hilton?
Josh Gordon, all day long.
Josh Gordon or Torrey Smith?
Josh Gordon.
Easily. Josh Gordon or Sammy Watkins?
Sammy Watkins.
Okay, tell me why Sammy Watkins more than Josh Gordon there.
Proven this season. On the other two, Gordon has way more of an upside.
Definitely than Torrey Smith. T.Y. Hilton, though, yes, T.Y.'s been solid.
T.Y.'s had a good season, and he's going to get more looks, obviously, because of the injuries with the Colts as well.
Yeah.
But I just think Sammy's still got a lot to prove this year.
Okay. I think I will go Josh Gordon, definitely more than Torrey. On this, you know what? Actually, yeah, I'm going Josh Gordon across the board too. There's just too much upside.
But I mean,
this dude's a top 5 receiver in the league.
He's a top 5 receiver, but it's all about quarterbacks getting it to you. So if Hoyer can't get him the ball, what are they going to do? He's just going to be another dude who can't get the rock.
I think Hoyer will be able to get him the ball, though. This is huge. I'm talking. This is Josh Gordon inputting into your fantasy lineups and in Cleveland's lineup. This is huge. This is big news.
I picked him up and added him to A.J. Green and Roddy White.
Oh my Lord!
And I've got 2 dudes on the bench that are starting material.
Well done. Well done. All right, so that's our Josh Gordon greater than you. How about this? Is kind of a sleeper. We talked about him earlier. Isaiah Crowell. He's going to be the starter now, we think, in Cleveland, so here's another Brown. Is he greater than, moving forward, Trent Richardson?
Yes.
Mark Ingram?
No.
Jonathan Stewart?
Yes.
Fred Jackson at the Bills, who's healthy now. He's going to start this week.
Yes.
Trey Mason, St. Louis Ram?
Yes.
Isaiah Crowell, is he greater than Lamar Miller, Miami?
Is he healthy?
Lamar Miller's a little banged up.
So I'd say yes.
And last but not least, Sims in Tampa Bay with Doug Martin hurt, Rainey not really doing the job. I think his name is Charles Sims. He looks good. He's a rookie, looking real good. Isaiah Crowell, is he greater than Charles Sims?
I'd say yes, just because they're going to have to throw the ball.
So you like Isaiah Crowell?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got upside. Now, the only downside is obviously Terrence West could be getting some of those carries. So,
exactly.
I could be wrong on all of that. Yeah. It all depends on, do they let him have the ball? It seems like they kind of do a New England game where you don't know who's going to run the ball that week. So I could be wrong on every single one of those, and he could be the worst. So I'm just trying to play along with your segment.
Yeah, good, absolutely. Go for it. And here's the last I am greater than you. This is a situation, again, we're going to go running backs, of a dude that's really upped his game and gotten into the mix in the last 4 weeks. He's had over 100 rushing yards, several touchdowns, and he's catching the ball out of the backfield. Even though he does play for Jacksonville, we're talking about Denard Robinson. At the beginning of the year, not on anybody's radar. Now he's your running back 2, definitely your flex, but you're starting him every week.
Oh, yeah.
Every week.
He's the man.
So Denard Robinson, greater than Frank Gore.
Yes.
Eddie Lacy.
No.
Andre Ellington.
Is he back healthy now?
He's not 100%. He's not going to be 100% the whole year.
I'd still have Ellington.
Yeah, I agree. And last, Alfred Morse.
Can we tie one?
Sure.
We're going with a tie on that.
We'll go with a tie. I like that. Alfred Morris is really the Redskins' only dude that will come to work every day and perform. The rest
Robert
of that team
Griffin is
sucks.
such a joke, man.
Absolutely.
Did you hear what Jay Gruden said about him earlier this week?
Did. Boy, was he right, too.
Yes.
Boy, was he right. I got to respect Jay Gruden. Sticking up to RG3 when RG3, thinks he owns the whole city and the team.
He said, this ain't going to happen to me, what you just ran out of town.
Yeah.
I'm calling you out, dude.
I like that. And, at the end of the day, RJ3, he ain't got a leg to stand on because he's proven nothing.
Right.
Get him. Trade his ass.
Right.
Trade his ass. Trade his ass.
Trade his ass.
Trade his ass. All right, John Mark. Good work, dude. Those are a few segments that we just wrapped up.
We'll get back to your show in a moment. Just a reminder, you're listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Find out more at themesh.tv and give us feedback on what you like. And now, as promised, back to your show.
Let's jump right into the Fantasy 45, the fastest 45 seconds in fantasy football, and we shall breeze through this. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Here we go. First game, Thursday night, 8:25, Kansas City on the road at the lowly Oakland Raiders. Again, Oakland 0-10, Kansas City coming off the big win against Seattle. Right now, Oakland is a dog at home, 7-point dog, total 43. Can Kansas City throw a ball to? Did you know that their wide receivers do not have a receiving touchdown yet?
One.
That's got to catch up with them.
I guess you can't include Kelsey in that, but
right.
Dwayne Bowe,
his
doesn't
wide
have
receivers,
one. Right? Yeah, it's pretty awful.
That's got to catch up with them eventually.
I mean,
you would think.
Wouldn't you think a defense could figure out a way? I'm just going to put everybody on Charles. Make them get at least 1 or 2 touchdowns against us in the air.
Will Oakland do that this week on Thursday night?
Maybe. It'll probably be a crappy game, 0-10 versus 7-3. But at the end of the day, I think Murray might come around and have a big day for Oakland.
Like it.
Make it a running contest. But, I mean, look at that. McFadden has 393 yards for the year. That's awful.
That's
terrible. You're the starting running back. But maybe Dwayne Bowe has a big game. I mean, maybe he gets his first touchdown catch. But, Jamal is going to go off.
Yeah. Must start Jamal Charles, of course. Alex Smith, David Carr or Derek Carr, no. But wild card, Latavius Murray.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Latavius Murray. I think that's the wild card of the day right there.
I like it there, buddy. I like it. Who wins the game?
KC.
KC minus the 7, and I'm going to under the total 43. Oakland has trouble scoring. Kansas City and Oakland, that used to be a really big rival. I think Oakland might.
Before Oakland sucked.
Exactly. Anyway, so let's go under the total 43, and we'll lean Kansas City minus the 7. I see Kansas City by 10.
That was only 46 seconds, I think.
Okay, good. We're on pace then. We're on pace. Keep it up. 1 o'clock game Sunday. The Cleveland Browns just talked about Josh Gordon. Will he make an impact? They're on the road at Atlanta. As we mentioned, Atlanta just beat the Panthers. Matt Ryan, he started the season off fantasy numbers fantastic. He is definitely just pedestrian now. 31 of 45, 268, and a touchdown. But Roddy White, instead of Julio Jones, looks like the go-to dude for Matt Ryan. Right now, Atlanta is favored over the Browns, minus 3, the total 47.
Make a bet. I think this is the bet of the week right here. I think the Browns getting Josh Gordon back, they're going to come in there and show the South what the South is all about. They're not winning right now. Julio's going to get a lot of the balls this week. I think they find a way to get him the rock. It'll be a Josh Gordon versus Julio Jones week, and should be kind of a fun one to go. I go over the total.
Yeah, I like over the total, too. You're going to lean Cleveland. Cleveland's got to win this game to stay kind of moving along in that division.
I think they're last place in their division still, aren't they?
I think so. And Atlanta, man, even though they're number one in the South, it's kind of smoke and mirrors. Their South stinks so bad, and I think people are high on them because they just beat Carolina. What does it mean to beat Carolina? Nothing. Let's go Cleveland. Plus the 3 over the 47.5. Next up, Tennessee Titans at the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys watched Tennessee Titans play Pittsburgh on Monday night. Somebody that I was impressed with, his numbers didn't look that good. He got a Do what? Mettenberger, yes. He seemed like he would stand in the pocket. He took some vicious hits. His receivers just would not make plays for him, dude. They dropped so many balls.
Right.
Bishop Sankey, they only gave him 11 rushes, but out of the backfield, he caught a couple balls. I think they need to get Bishop Sankey more involved, give Mettenberger some time, and get him some receivers that can catch the ball. Right now, Tennessee on the road is an 11-point dog at Philadelphia. The total's 48.5.
You know, I think Sanchez, do you trust Sanchez? It's 2 games in a row. He's over 300 yards. I mean, that's huge in the way our league scores.
Sure.
With, was it a point every 20 or?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I think Sanchez has another good game. I think LaShawn McCoy finds a way to go off today on this game. And, I think Mettenberger's going to put up some points as well. So I go over the total, obviously at 49, and I think Philadelphia will cover that 11.
Yeah, I love over the total here. Mettenberger getting his feet wet. They're going to start slanging the ball around. Sanchez looks like the perfect fit in this Eagles offense, which we discussed last week. Even though most of his stuff was garbage time last week, because you started him last week. He didn't really get going until maybe third quarter late. But man, right now you got to put Sanchez top 7 quarterback fantasy wise. He's putting up 300 plus and 2 touchdowns every game.
Right, it's not bad.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with you there, John Mark. I'm going to go Philadelphia minus the 11 and over the 49. Next up, real good game here. Detroit Lions, best defense in the league against New England, one of the best offenses in the league. New England at home. The game started at a 3.5-point line. Wow. It has bet all the way up to 7. That's a 3.5-point, 4-point swing. That's huge in Vegas terms. Right now, also, the total, 48 is the total. Can Detroit's defense keep them in this game? What do you think?
I think it's not about Detroit's defense keeping them in the game. It's Detroit's offense keeping them in the game. I think it's going to be a score fest. I think the Patriots find a way to score on everybody. If it's not going to be Jonas Gray, it's going to be Vereen. If it's not Vereen, it's Gronk. If it's not Gronk, it's LaFell. There's one dude who just goes off on you. Edelman. Mm-hmm. So I think the Patriots are going to put up points regardless. I go over the total. I think Pats cover that 7.
Talk to me a little bit about Matthew Stafford. I tell you what I did last week. I traded Colin Kaepernick and Alshon Jeffrey, which I'm regretting, for Matt Stafford and Vernon Davis because in my Raleigh league, quarterback play is everything. You got to have a quarterback that can score. I was thinking Matt Stafford, he's got Chicago on his schedule left, got Minnesota. It's going to be in a shootout with Green Bay. Here, it's my time. He did nothing last week.
Nothing.
Granted, it was Arizona's defense who's tough.
Right.
Can Matt Stafford get it going? Calvin Johnson's back. Golden Tate's there.
If you can't get it done with the receiving core you got, then you don't deserve to be there. So I think he turns it on. I think that could be a good trade.
I think so, too.
You definitely got rid of a good receiver in that trade. Yeah. And received a crappy tight end.
Yes, maybe. You can't even start Vernon Davis anymore.
No, you can't. I think he's on a lot of waiver wires right now.
Yeah, he's terrible. So you're going New England minus the 7 and over the total?
Yep.
I'm going to go Detroit plus the 7, and I'm going to go over the total 48 because I do see Calvin Johnson getting involved with Matt Stafford this week. Let's go. Next up, 1 p.m. kick, Green Bay at Minnesota. Green Bay, dude, they're looking like Aaron Rodgers looks like he's the best quarterback in the league last week.
In the world.
Greater than you. He scored 53 points last week. This offense was unbelievable. 341, 3 touchdowns. Eddie Lacy getting it done on the ground a little bit with 69 yards and a touchdown. Now, Minnesota, have they given up? Have they quit? They're looking bad here, John Martin. I'm trying to find their numbers from last week. Minnesota. They score 13 points. Teddy Bridgewater, Minnesota was hoping he would be the savior. He has looked terrible. 158 and a touchdown last week. Not much happening there. Minnesota, any chance in this game? Right now, they're a 9.5-point dog at home, 48 total.
I say no chance, but I'd still go over the total. I think Green Bay is going to put up in the Dome as many as they want. I mean, they could put up 55 themselves.
True. That's very true.
So I think Green Bay definitely covers that 10. Aaron Rodgers is going to go for another 4 touchdowns. Eddie Lacy might get 1 or 2, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. Who's it going to be? Jordy Nelson, or is it going to be Cobb?
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. But that team looks like the best team in the NFL right now. And their defense even came up pretty strong last game. They got 2 touchdowns. Julius Peppers. I love that clip they showed everybody jumping and doing the Lambeau leap.
Yeah, that was cool.
But on Minnesota, who's going to go off? Nobody.
Before we move away from this game, Cordarrelle Patterson, who everybody's darling,
Out here. See ya.
I mean, he's on waiver wires now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Would
you take any risk on him? Is it even worth doing?
I dropped him 4 weeks ago.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. All right, so we're going to go Green Bay, and we're going to go over the total. Next up, Jacksonville heads to Indianapolis. Indianapolis reeling after that shellacking on Sunday night by the Patriots. Jacksonville looking for another win. They're playing better ball. They had a bye last week. Maybe they come in refreshed. Indianapolis with the injuries. Maybe they're reeling a little bit back on their heels. Indianapolis, a 14-point favorite right now. A 49.5 is the total, John Mark. Does Jacksonville have a chance?
I would say they have a chance to be within 14 points. Yeah, I'd say they do have a chance. I mean, Indianapolis is not, looking that great after that week they had with the injuries. The confidence has got to be wavered a little bit.
Sure.
Andrew Luck will find a way to win the game. I think it stays under the total, though.
I'm going to, with what Indianapolis did or Jonas Gray did to Indianapolis defense, just gashed them for 200 yards. I'm not saying Denard Robinson will do the same because he's not that kind of runner, but I can still see him getting 100-plus yards and a touchdown. I think this one is going over the total, but I'm like you. I like Jacksonville to keep it within the 14. I am going to fly over the total 50. I really like this game to go into the 60s, but Jacksonville keeps it close, plus the 14. Next up, Cincinnati at Houston. Last week, Houston got a big win on the road against the Browns. Ryan Mallett. He led them last week. New quarterback at the helm for Houston. Now, there was no Arian Foster, which we discussed. That hurt a lot of people. Definitely hurt me. But here comes Alfred Blue. 36 touches, 156 yards. Wow. The Texans, do they have a spark with this new quarterback? Can they keep it close at home against Cincinnati?
Yeah, I think the Texans definitely have a shot at this. And, they're not out of the hunt yet. They're right in it still. So,
sure.
They win a couple games, they're going to be putting the Colts a little bit scared right there.
Yeah.
So, that's why the line's, 1.5 points. I think
Houston's actually favored in this game.
Houston's favored in this game.
At home.
The problem is you don't know what Andy Dalton you're going to get. But I think things are starting to click for the Cincinnati again with A.J. Green back. I think the Bengals take this game. I'd go with the over.
Yep. Still no question the question about Arian Foster is not answered. Will he play or will he not? Keep your eye on the injury reports. I'm going to go against you here, buddy. Houston at home seems to play well. Cincinnati is playing a lot better with A.J. Green healthy, but I think this Mallett's providing the spark that Houston needs. I'm going to say under the total here, and I'm going to say Houston by a field goal in a great, great game.
And with Clowney at home, Jadeveon Clowney with J.J. Watt, this could be
formidable.
A show.
Yes, absolutely. Next up.
Did I just call that maybe an S show?
Yeah, there's some type of show going on in here. I don't know what the hell it is.
That was awkward.
Good Lord. The New York Jets travel to Buffalo. Now, I don't know if you've seen the weather forecast, John Mark, but they already have 2 feet of snow in Buffalo. So they're deciding, are they going to play the game Sunday? Are they going to move it to a different venue? Are they going to postpone it for another time? Who knows what's going to happen?
They could even just cancel it for all I care.
That would be fine by me, too. Cancel that bad boy. Let's go.
Let's move on.
Let's put the Cirque du Soleil up there or, some other type of act. Maybe the Ringling Brothers, Bonham and Bailey Circus. Something is going to be better than this fiasco.
Right.
Buffalo Bills right now, 4-point favorite. Total 39.5. The Jets. What do you think about this game, buddy?
I think Vic gets a rushing touchdown in the snow. That's what's going to happen. No one's going to be able to move with his jutes, and it's going to be good, man. So Kyle Orton, I think he's going to put on the money to Sammy a couple times. Throw it to Sammy and let him just make people try and tackle them in the snow.
Bingo. One thing they do say about the snow, this was Vegas insiders we're talking about. They will say, just because you see snow, everybody thinks under. Well, the defensive backs, they're reacting to the offensive people's move.
Right. They can't get there.
Exactly. So they could slip and fall and then boom, touchdown. So you saw it last year in the Philadelphia-Detroit game, snowing like crazy. The total was started at 44. It dropped to 38.
Right.
Before you knew it, there were 60 points on the board, mostly by the Eagles because of exactly that.
Right.
Poor footing by the defense. So keep your eye on that. If you got a couple little shekels that you want to bet, maybe you'll lean over here just for the fun of it.
I think the Jets will stay within the 4.5.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Go for it. You guys keep your eye on Fred Jackson, too. He's supposed to be back in the lineup. Fred Jackson for the Buffalo Bills. Also, Eric Decker for the Jets. Look to him to catch a touchdown. I like him for maybe 6 points in this game. That's 6 points a touchdown. Fantasy-wise, maybe 12. Here we go. 1 o'clock. We're still here. Tampa Bay at Chicago. Mike Evans for the Tampa Bay Bucks looks like to be the offensive rookie of the year right now. Just absolutely explosive. Last week goes for 209 on 7 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Can Tampa Bay keep up the momentum against these lowly, your team, Chicago Bears?
The Chicago Bears have bounced back. Let's get real here. They had their game last week. It was Minnesota and all that, but, they got their confidence back, which is good. So Brandon Marshall and Cutler on the same page. Alshon Jeffrey and Cutler on the same page. Forte's still doing his thing. I think Bears definitely win this game by over the 7. But, I'd look for Bucks to Mike Evans, maybe have a big day, Vincent Jackson.
Yeah. What about the running back, Charles Sims, against Chicago's defensive front?
It could very well go for 100 yards.
I like Charles Sims in this matchup for sure. Matt Forte continues to get it done for Chicago. Again, he'll have 100-plus yards and a touchdown. Matt Forte will do his thing.
Now, remember, this is McCown's comeback to Chicago day. So,
ooh, very nice.
This is going to be McCown thinking I'm better than you against Jay Cutler to show him. So, that's a little play on it that Buccaneers fans or players might play a little harder for him.
Good scenario.
And Lovie Smith also coming back to the Bears. So
I love it.
There's a lot of storyline to it.
So you still going to stay with Chicago after you just described that scenario to me?
It definitely made me second guess what I just said, but I'm sticking with it.
All right, buddy. I'm going to go against you. I'm going Tampa Bay on the road, catching that 7. That's a touchdown. That's a big number. And I'm going to, I'm going to lean over the 46.5 too with Mike Evans becoming a threat. Chicago's going to get theirs against a bad Tampa Bay defense. Let's go over the total 46.5. 4 o'clock games. Here we come. This is a goodie, a real goodie. Arizona 9-1, traveling to Seattle, where they're supposed to have the best fans in the world. Seattle, dude, they're reeling. They're 6-4. What's going on with Seattle's defense, and what's going on with Russell Wilson? Can he stop the bleeding as Seattle hosts the Arizona Cardinals and are a 6.5-point favorite? Total 42.
Cardinals are the better team this year. It's just official. The Legion of Boom is not the booming no more. So, I guess the Andre Ellington's back, but Larry Fitzgerald's out. I look for Arizona to put up some points against them. I don't see why they can't. Stanton's going to put up about 28 points, I think. So, I go over the total, and I think Seattle could stay within the 6.
Yeah, I actually I think Arizona can win. See, Seattle's favored, buddy. They're favored by a touchdown.
Right.
So I think Arizona might win this game outright. Right. So I'm giving me the +7 all day long. And if you had Doug Baldwin on your team right now, he had a good game last week. I'll give you his numbers. But while I look for him, Doug Baldwin, what's he go for? He catches a touchdown. Actually, his receiving numbers weren't that great. Is he somebody you can put into a flex spot?
Sure.
You like Doug Baldwin?
About it.
They got no other weapons.
There's not too many guys for wide receivers out there right now. So and he's probably picked up in every league by now.
He is, yeah.
But I think he's definitely a flex position guy.
And Michael Floyd, we mentioned him earlier. Do we like Michael Floyd moving forward? Put in wide receiver 2 or maybe flex. Are we ready?
It doesn't matter who's Sherman's guarding. They're putting points on him. They
are. That is very true. Good point. All right, buddy. I like it too. Arizona plus the 7. I'm going to actually go over the total 42. I think Arizona can get 28 by themselves. Another 4:05 game. We've got St. Louis traveling to San Diego. Big news out of San Diego. And Antonio Gates kind of spilled the beans. Did you hear about this one?
No.
Antonio Gates, Phillip Rivers started off the year phenomenally. Top 3 fantasy quarterback in the league. The last few weeks, he's kind of come back down to earth.
Injury?
The rib. Antonio Gates spills the beans, says that Rivers has been fighting a serious rib injury for the last 4 to 5 weeks, and that's affected him. The coaches immediately covered up, say, no, Antonio doesn't know what he's talking about. But that's what's come out now. So that's pretty big news.
That's huge. He's my quarterback.
Okay, well, I guess it is very big news to you. San Diego at home is a 5.5-point favorite. The total's 44. St. Louis playing a little bit better ball these days. They're hanging in there. What did they do last week? Oh, they beat Denver last week.
They beat Denver. They beat the Seahawks on the road.
Exactly.
They beat San Francisco on the road.
They certainly did.
So they beat every single one of those big players. But you know what? I mean, the Rams' defense is so good?
Rams' defense is playing better.
So the Chargers really could be in trouble this week.
I like it, dude.
I think that this stays under the total, and I think the Rams will stay within that 4.5.
I'm all over it, buddy. I'm all over it. Keep your eye on Kenny Britt, too. I mean, there's not many weapons there. Sean Hill took Austin Davis' place last week as the starting quarterback. Looked to Kenny Britt for, I think he caught a touchdown, maybe not really close to 100 yards, but let's see. I got his numbers right here. Oh, actually, 128 yards Kenny Britt had and a touchdown. So keep your eye on Kenny Britt. Their only wide receiver weapon, it seems, left.
I think I'm just got it in my head. I got to go get another quarterback now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry to break that news to you. Glad to hear it on the fantasy formula, though, instead of Sunday while you've got them started,
well,
right?
I remember that, and I was going to pick somebody else up anyways, just didn't know who to start.
Yeah, gotcha. Next up, 425 game should be good. Miami Dolphins travel to the Mile High City Denver Bronco. Denver laying 7 as a favorite. 50 is the total. Denver, question marks all over the place. Sanders, question mark. Julius Thomas, question mark. Will Wes Welker jump in and fill the role? Man, just what will Peyton do against this Miami defense? Just tons of questions. What do you think they'll do, John Mark?
5-0 at home, and I think they'll go 6-0 at home. I think that when they lose a game like this, Peyton's in there all day, every day, figuring out a way. We ain't losing again. This is ridiculous. They're talking about Tom Brady again. He's
right.
better than me. I've had enough. So I think he's going to come out. They're going to score 30-some points by themselves.
Woo!
And he's going to hit his targets. And It's going to be fine. And they're going to win the game. Over the 7.5, over the over.
You like over there. So Miami's got to put up some points, too. If you think Denver gets 35, so
Dolphins can
Miami's going to get about 21. Go over the total.
Tannehill might have a good week. I think they need to target Mike Wallace a little bit more than they have been.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can't do on a deep threat because Tannehill can't throw very far, but maybe in the mile high where he can get a little bit more air under it.
There it is. I like Mike Wallace for a touchdown in this game.
Yeah.
I like that. Good call. Very good. I'm going to go Denver, too. They'll get it done at home for sure. Let's go over the total, 49.5, too. Next up, 425, Washington Redskins against the San Francisco 49ers. San Fran have won the last 3, but they look terrible in doing it. Something's just not clicking. I don't know what it is. Their defense keeping them in games, but Eli Manning threw 5 interceptions last week. They still only put up 16 points with 5 picks.
Awful.
That's not good.
That's good field position. That's why it was a good trade getting rid of Kaepernick.
I think so, dude. He was not a good player on my team, and I'm glad he's gone. San Francisco is opened up at 7.5. Now they're a 9-point favorite at home against Washington Redskins. Totals 44. Can RG3 muster up anything to keep this game close?
I think this is the 49ers defense pick of the week. If you got them, start them. I think they were on our waiver wire, and I'm trying to pick them up.
Sure.
Good thing this doesn't come out till the waiver wire is over. Anyways, I think San Francisco wins by more than 10, and it goes under the total.
Is this what does in RG3? I mean, is this it?
I hope so. I'm tired of hearing about him. Yeah. I'm not even a Redskins fan. I don't even like him, but sayonara. At the very beginning of this season, I said, he ain't nothing. He's going to get injured. Yeah. And, when you build a coaching around the player, that never works.
Never seems to work unless you're Peyton Manning. So San Francisco, I'm going to go with you here. San Francisco minus the 10. I'm going to lean under the total 44. San Fran might shut these son of a guns out. I don't know. RG3, if he's your quarterback, dude, you got to get rid of him now and go find somebody immediately. 8:30 game. After you've won all this money on the 1 and the 4 o'clocks, let's make some more money at 8:30 Sunday night. Dallas Cowboys travel to the New York Giants. This game always seems to be good. Even if the Giants stink, it doesn't matter. Or even if the Cowboys stink, this game always seems to kind of bring the best out of both teams. Dallas is a 3.5-point favorite on the road. The total's 47.5. You know who I really like in this game? Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah,
Watch this dude shine on prime time Sunday night. Dez might do a little shining himself because he likes the big stage as well. Who do you like at 3.5, 47.5?
Yeah, I like Cowboys to win this game over the 3.5. I think it could go over.
Yep.
What do you think about Rashard Jennings in this game? You think it's his game to come through with that
Start him.
bad defensive?
Start him with no question, dude. I mean, he's a big key to
it could
the
be a
plan.
DeMarco Rashard runoff here.
Could be.
I mean, it could
Absolutely.
be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other question, will Eli kind of get it back on track, dude? 5 picks last week. Is he done? I mean, what do you feel about Eli?
It doesn't matter. He's already rich and he's got a hot wife, so whatever.
Yeah,
That doesn't answer nothing, does it?
It doesn't, but it fits what I was going to say.
He's already had 2 Super Bowls, more than his brother. He's set.
Maybe his drive, like Peyton keeps on with his drive. He keeps wants more. Eli, they say he's playing like he doesn't want to get hit anymore.
Right.
He doesn't.
Sure.
He's not in at 110 anymore, which makes sense.
Right.
So you can't really trust Eli anymore.
You can't trust him. He shouldn't be starting on your team if you got him.
Yeah, true. Very good. Let's go Dallas. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go Giants plus the 3.5. I can see Dallas winning the game, but maybe only by a field goal. But I love the over 47.
Look at this real quick.
Yeah.
Tony Romo Manning has a little bit more yards than Tony Romo does and the same amount of touchdowns. Now, the interception obvious ratio is different. But,
Yeah.
Romo right there with him on the touchdowns and yards.
Keep in mind, Romo missed a game, right, because of an injury.
Okay.
Didn't he miss that one game? Yeah.
No, he played in England.
He played in that game?
Yeah, he played in England. He played like the first half, I think. But he put up some yards and touchdowns in the first half. They just sat him.
Interesting. Okay, very good. Next up, we'll go to the Monday night game, 8:30 kick, Baltimore against New Orleans. Baltimore coming off their bye. New Orleans coming off another loss at home. That's 2 losses in a row for the Saints. That's unheard of.
Too.
At home.
Yeah, they don't lose at home.
Saints really need this one desperately. Saints right now, 3.5-point favorite, 49.5 at home. Can Baltimore do it? They need a win too.
I think this is a must-win for both of them. Ravens' defense is still pretty strong, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. I would.
But the Saints have to do something. I think they just need to throw it to Jimmy Graham and have Mark Ingram run it as many times as you can and let it be done.
Dude, do you know how many targets Jimmy Graham got last weekend? 3.
3 targets.
He gets 3 targets.
It doesn't make any sense.
You
to
can't
me.
give Jimmy Graham 3 targets. You give him 13 targets.
That's like having Shaquille O'Neal on your floor and you only let him touch the ball 2 times near the rim.
Exactly. Makes
That's
no
crazy.
sense.
Pass him the rock.
Sean Payton's supposed to be a genius. And, I mean,
People say the same thing about you, Chad, but look at our records.
Look at our
You know what I'm
records.
saying?
Very true. But, I mean, I'm smart enough to know to give Jimmy Graham the ball. So, come on. Anyway, if Saints got a chance, Jimmy Graham's got to be involved. I do like them at home against this Baltimore team. I'm liking the over, too, though. I'm liking the over. Saints need to start scoring. Baltimore can wing it, too. Joe Flacco might have the best arm in the damn league.
Flacco is kind of like Cutler. You're hit or miss.
Yeah.
He's got a great arm, can sling it at some people, but watch out for Torrey Smith and Steve Smith actually getting some looks today. I mean, this is I keep saying today, on Monday.
Yes.
We'll all still be in Costa Rica.
Yeah, which brings me to our next segment. Where in the world is John Mark Russell? So, John Mark Russell, okay. So, last week you go to Cullowhee, North Carolina, and celebrate with your good college buddies, and nobody got injured or hurt. No one was thrown in jail. So, a solid weekend by you.
Yes, it was very solid. There was all of those things about happened, though.
Yeah, very close to happening, but it didn't. So, we breathe, a sigh of relief. We get home, our wife's
still
happy.
trying to feel normal.
Everything's good. Okay, so then John Mark gets to travel now, leaves out tomorrow to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, the RIU, man.
That's it, dude.
We're going deep sea fishing on Friday.
Fantastic.
Which I hear you don't have to have like that hour trip out into the middle of the sea.
Right.
You're just right there. So It drops off pretty quick. So hopefully get me a sailfish and get some good pictures and memories.
Awesome.
I might go to the zip lines and do a sunset cruise. It's all set up, man. I'm looking forward to it.
It's an all-inclusive resort, if I'm not mistaken.
All-inclusive.
Typically.
So, a lot of rum. I'll be feeling bad on Tuesday next week.
Of rum. Yeah, well,
We might need a fill-in next week.
Addison, where you at? Just kidding.
Magic hands.
So anyway, dude, have a great time. Not that exciting of a weekend plan for me. We'll be around Hickory, but I am coaching Olivia's basketball team this year. We've had 2 practices. They look pretty good. We coached the championship game last Sunday. I don't know if you remember from previous conversations we had.
Oh, yeah.
We were the champs.
Where she did the goalie save,
Yep,
right?
we were the champs, defending champs. We make it. We beat the team in the semifinals because we were the 3rd seed. We beat the number 2 seed, match up against the number 1 seed. They just had a little bit more than we could handle.
Oof.
So, yeah, we go down in the finals, but
Was
it was
Sparks again?
We beat them. We beat the Sparks clan in the semifinals and then played the other team.
He just hates that, doesn't he?
He does. He hates to lose to an East.
Hope you don't listen to the show.
That's right, buddy. That's right. But anyway, it was a fun year. Good season by Olivia and her teammates. We had a blast. This weekend, going to kind of keep it close to the vest. Got a Christmas parade. Hickory Christmas Parade's Friday night.
No way.
The tree lighting Friday night. Big news here in Christmas.
That.
Yeah, well, I'll drink some hot chocolate for you while we light the tree. Should be a lot of fun. So you be safe out in Costa Rica, buddy. And I guess we'll talk to all our fantasy fanatics next Wednesday. Good luck with the playoff races right ahead.
Adios.
Peace.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.